How's it going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Quiz Trades. It's actually February already. Happy Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Um, I did say I was going to be consistent with the trade recaps and all that. I did get a new job, full time. So the latter half of January, I was very busy. Like I was literally working basically 10 to 10s, 12-hour days for the most part. I was obviously trading, but I just wasn't able to really get videos out. But now I have classes I've started, so I kind of switched over my work schedule. So I will have more downtime. Um, I have more downtime to make videos and everything again. Start putting more stuff out there because I do want to. I don't know. I kind of want to revive this channel. I was really grinding this out the latter half of last year. Kind of fell off near the end, but my trades have been very good recently, so we're back. Okay, we are back. I did already go. So this video is gonna be a full January recap, and then um, February, like I do week trade recap, but I already did the first week of January in my last video. So I don't really think I need to go. I mean, I'll just do it real quick. Prior to this, I was bullish for the month of January just because I wanted all-time highs to get taken out. Just because that's the yearly function. So I was bullish. We got this retracement, fulfilled equilibrium. We already had this PDRA, pulled back in this previous change in state level, and there. So that week ripped. That was already my last video. So yeah. So going into the next week, the second week of January. So this is basically the second and third week of January. Um, this was pretty much like the first week. We took out my draw this on. We took out my draw that for the, holy shit. We took out my draw that week on a Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, I just let play out. Monday we opened and we took out previous week high. So that was the biggest thing, was we had taken out previous week high pretty early on. So I didn't, let's see which day. Monday took out previous week high, so all I was kind of waiting for was a change in state to the downside, because we already had a bearish PDRA and I already had bearish incentives. Like I could already tell that the way price was moving, it's kind of just going from, even now, it's kind of just going from draw to draw. So like liquidity to liquidity to IRL, IRL to ERL, back to liquidity. So that's what this was, right? Put in a new high, went to IRL, and we took out that high. We did the same thing. We came down to IRL, right? These 4-hour order blocks, fulfilled equilibrium on this range. And then we went back up. We took out previous week high. But Monday I didn't take anything just because I was waiting. And because overnight already pretty much expanded pretty well. Tuesday, we did the same thing. We took out previous day high. So I was watching that. Okay, so we taken previous week high and previous day high. So now I'm at least targeting some type of IRL if I'm not targeting previous week low. We then got this 4-hour change in state. So once we had gotten this 4-hour change in state, I was now basically confirming my bearish bias. I did enter puts. Here, and then also, yeah. So enter the puts here. Wednesday played out nicely. Again, if you don't understand why, it's just liquidity sweep and change in state with the right narrative. A lot of the functioning and technicalities of trading only work well with the correct narrative. So it's like a 50-50. Right, if you don't understand functioning of price, you can't succeed just with narrative. But then if you don't understand narrative, you can't succeed just with functioning of price. Past like 3 weeks, I've been doing very well at putting it all together. Knock on wood. So yeah, I entered puts here once we got that change in state, because then to me it was like we're at least coming down to here. Right, we're at least coming down to previous day low. Whatever day the change in state occurs, that's the functioning that we're targeting for the low or high based off of what change in state we're getting, whether bullish or bearish. So I entered puts pretty early just because I was confident, and then we did have that sell-off. We took out previous day lows, so I actually pretty much closed most of my positions here. Then we came back up, and then this in my eyes was actually a retracement leg, because again, just the way that interbank price delivery works is put in my model, right? Liquidity sweep, ERL to RL, whichever one. Pair that up with the liquidity sweep, and then we have our change in state. Then we have our change in state, and then we have our retracement or rebounds, and then we distribute. Right? So it's pretty simple. It's just how price delivers itself. It's not just gonna go straight to a distribution and take out the full TP. It's gonna need to have that retracement before we go to that final TP. So I did take some profits here. Then we got our retracement like back up, back to our change in state level, back to these order blocks. Let's see. Yeah, back to this order block, right? Because this up move before this down move, technically this Monday candle acts as our order block, so we pull into it perfectly. Then we sell off right to this low, which is what I wanted to target, previous week low. So that was pretty much the main trade for this like part of the week, and then actually I'll go over that after. So yeah, that was kind of the main part, right? It's just narrative of okay, we've been selling off from this area multiple times. If you're like a support and resistance trader, this in your eyes would just be resistance. So there's a lot of resistance here, right? We already see price reacting from a certain level. Now we got the functioning, right? The technicalities of we have the liquidity sweep, we have our PD arrays, we're in equilibrium on the high time frame, right? And again, if you don't understand that, from this entire range, we're well above equilibrium. So everything up here is in equilibrium to target these lows. And you can see like we pull right in, I'll go over this, right? We pull right into equilibrium of this whole range. And us pulling into equilibrium of that whole range gave me a lot of conviction for that trade, which I'll go into in just a second. But I kind of just want to simplify it as much as possible. Don't need to overdo it, right? You watched a couple of videos I have on my channel of the market truths and the fundamentals. Then just understand the basics, right? Watch CJR's first bootcamp, right? Understand the basics for value gap, order block, break of structures, understand all of that simple stuff, which all worked years ago, right? The market did adapt a lot. So understand that, then understand the market truths and the confluences and the functioning of price and how it delivers itself. And then just learn narrative based off experience, right? So my narrative now, I'm able to read narratives so much better now because of just experience. Right? You need to really experience. The biggest thing that you can't get from anywhere else is the experience. You can watch as many videos as you want, but that IRL experience that you get from actually trading and losing and winning, you can't you can't replicate that, right? So we had that functioning. We have our narrative. Then we have our change in state, right? The most important thing, because that's kind of like the 1 + 1 = 2, right? You get the liquidity sweep, you get the change in state. Now you're targeting the other liquidity pool, which was these previous day lows, which is where I took one profit. Then we had this retracement, so I entered more puts up here because now we, tapped into an order block, right? We fulfilled on this level. We're way past equilibrium, so we're in very premium. So even if it is wrong, the risk is amazing, right? We're barely risking compared to what we're getting that reward. And if anything, this initial move, if you're trading like a market structure shift or like displacement, a lot of traders trade that. If you're trading that type of ideology, then this is exactly what that is, right? Because we didn't take out our final TP, which is down here. I only took profits just because to buy options, like you need buying power. So I just kind of needed more buying power at the time. So I took profits and then I re-entered here. Then we had news, some shit. I don't really remember what it was. It's like 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, so then we had news and we just opened up all the way down here. So that was kind of that second week, right? Shorts from previous week high. We had that bearish PD array. And then what we did finally, so this was the main move. This was what I was in for quite a while. I bought some really nice calls, and again, I think we're past me having to show you guys that like I actually do this shit for real. I feel like we're past that. I feel like y'all at this point can just kind of just know that what I be saying is real. What day is this? 21st. Yeah, so the 21st, I was in calls on QQQ, which is basically just the Nasdaq. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, 21st. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Jesus Christ. I'm just looking at all these fucking callouts I had in the past couple of weeks that have absolutely been banging. All right. Anyways. So yeah. This was a main trade, right? When like QMT model, when I'd look for like a once a month type of trade, this would be the once a month type of trade. And I'll tell you why. It's because it's the only trade that fulfilled equilibrium on this entire range. All right, so this is our full dealing range. You can see we've been accumulating in this area, and we didn't get this distribution to the upside, like an actual distribution to all-time highs. I mean, I know on NQ we're not getting. Hello, I know on NQ we didn't get it, but I did also take them on ES. ES we ran that to all-time highs perfectly, and it's because it's the only one that actually pulled into. This is Monday, right? Friday. Oh no, this is Monday. It's the only one where we pulled into equilibrium. So that is the reason why we were able to now go to all-time highs. Because every time here we try to break higher from this level, there is something that's a draw that wouldn't let us go higher and pull us down, and that's just equilibrium needed to be fulfilled. Right. So we had that dump already. You can see we have this weekly order block, so that's already our PD array, and it's on a weekly time frame, so it's very strong. It's aligned with the monthly. Basically, pulling into a weekly PD array, it's gonna hold our month's directional bias. That's exactly what happened, right? We had our liquidity sweeps because we already swept this previous week low. So we had that previous week low sweep. We have our our weekly PD array, and now in this entire like month range or like 3-month range, we finally fulfilled equilibrium. Then all it basically was just waiting for a change in state, which we got very early, right? So Tuesday, we opened. I mean, we also had a bank holiday, so it was basically Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, we dumped, and then that Wednesday, we took out previous day low, which is these lows. So we took out these previous day lows, and then we closed through these up moves. I mean, even up here, these up moves before this down move was our change in state. Again, just price functioning and narrative. So on the high time frame, we fulfilled equilibrium. We have our weekly PD rays, weekly liquidity sweeps. On the lower time frames, now we've had, because again, you have to fractalize a model for it to work. Like the market will fractalize itself to move the way it wants to. All right, so we had our weekly liquidity sweep. Now we had our daily liquidity sweep, and we had that 4-hour change in state. So now it's clear, okay, we're at least targeting previous day highs. So I entered calls here, same thing as longs. So longed it from here, and then bang, bang, bang. By here, where we started getting some resistance here, because this would have been our daily change in state, meaning if we close through this, we're targeting our weekly highs. By this Friday, it was pretty clear that this model would stay protected. And then basically what I was also thinking was like, I wanted Monday to retrace us into this level, at least into equilibrium. Came a little lower, which is no problem. Monday also would have been a really nice entry. I don't think I added more calls. Yeah, I don't think I added more calls because we're already high up. Yeah, so by the time market opened, we already had our manipulation move. If this happened during New York AM, I would have definitely added more calls, but there was just no reason to. We already fulfilled. So initially, I'll be honest. Initially, I thought we were gonna pull into this new week opening gap, and then trade lower. But it was kind of like I was just kind of conflicted with myself. Right, we were having some IRL narrative of Trump this war this, which already was priced in. Right, that's what this was. I knew we wanted to sell off, which is kind of where my narrative for this trade came, which I'll talk about in a minute. But then I had also been saying to my boy constantly, like, we're going to take out all-time highs once more before we start selling off for real, because the year needs to do its function. Like, we're not going to get a sell-off without the year getting its function out of the way, which is what we got. Or we got that SMT, and that's enough for price to be functioned in. So, like the markets are satisfied now, is what I'm trying to say. Like, we don't necessarily need to go higher because we have a yearly SMT right now. So that's a lot. This is pretty simple, right? The biggest thing is that we fulfilled equilibrium on the high time frame. So we have no reason to come any lower, right? Because price is either targeting liquidity, targeting IRL, or targeting to fulfill equilibrium. When you put them all together, when all of those things happen at once, you can find your next draw very simply. And yeah, basically just let this run out. And then that was like the second, like a week and a half worth of a trade. So this would have been the main swing of the month. But even this was a nice swing. This was a nice swing as well. Not too bad. This was a nice swing, but this was the best swing. This absolutely cooked. And then yeah, then going into this week, last week is okay. Yeah, last week by Monday, Tuesday, we had taken out all-time highs. So I'd closed around Monday. Bro, how long is this fucking at? I'd closed around Monday, Tuesday. And then I started focusing on, okay, now we're going to get the sell-off that I've been wanting. And that's exactly what we got. So Wednesday had taken that out. I was now just waiting for a change in state to the downside. And unfortunately, there wasn't anything until later. Like the 4-hour change in state is down here. But I entered puts on Thursday once we closed through this first change in state right here. Because I noticed that we closed through it, then we pulled into all of these like order blocks, and we respected it overnight. So then going to Thursday, I kind of knew that the fact that we didn't break higher from this, and the fact that we were accumulating here means that this was good. Like this was enough to satisfy the market for it to now want to sell off, as I've been wanting it to sell off as well. So Thursday I had entered puts. I didn't hold them for very long. I'll be honest. I didn't hold them for very long just because I didn't want to go into the next week holding them. So I did take profits on Friday. So, okay, my first entry was here. Kind of looked like this. I'll just go like this. It looked like this. And I had actually taken profits. What day is this? Thursday at 7. When's Friday? Actually, wait. Let me check my thing real quick to make sure. Oh, okay. Hold on. Now I remember where I got my change in state from. It was this inverse. I'm just looking at my screenshots. It was this inverse that gave me that change in state. So once we inverse this daily bullish gap, on Thursday, right? Like we didn't close through it, but once we had this candle close through it, in my opinion, or in my eyes, we were green, right? So I'd entered puts initially here, and then I'd entered more puts like in the morning on Thursday. So it kind of looks something more like this. And then this I kind of just had a break even. And then I targeted these lows for both of them. This Monday low. So pretty much looked like this. And then that was Thursday, Friday. This Monday came even lower. But again, to me, this was our first change in state and like displacement leg. So I knew we were going to get a rebalance. And that's what I did this week, or what I did today. Because Monday, we came down here. I thought like, damn, we're going to take out our draw, which is this, right? This is my TP for the puts. But then we came all the way back up here, right? Monday ripped. We then pulled back into this daily inverse, which to me was beautiful. We had SMTs, right? So basically we had our weekly previous week high sweep. What I was waiting for was a previous day high sweep. And we didn't get that until, so Monday didn't get any previous day high sweep, so I didn't take anything. I lied. We did. On ES we did. So we had that SMT. That SMT, I entered puts on ES, on SPY, right? I guess, again, I can show y'all. This is basically how my morning looked, right? Beautiful. But I entered SPY puts, 680, 665 puts yesterday. And then today, once NQ got swept previous day high as well. Again, we're already past equilibrium, so I didn't have to really worry about that. I was already knowing that for this high up, equilibrium's around this level. We were getting change in states, which was fine because I was just functioning price on these days. So then we had an SMT, right? We had SMTs. We were in this inverse gap, which is kind of what I wanted. We're well beyond equilibrium. This was mostly just a narrative and understanding price delivery. So we had our initial displacement. This, in my eyes, was our rebalance. So I'd entered puts again, especially once we got this closure through. I was like on the 1 hour. So like once price was around here is when I entered puts again. So it looks something like this. And then I closed pretty early on these. I think I closed around here. I mean, I definitely could have held them, and I could still hold them. Because my draws are now all of these equal lows, right? We have one Tuesday low, Monday low, and then this low. So, but overall, basically, when I basically just dollar cost averaged a bunch of puts. Basically, what it would look like is this, right? And I'm still waiting for the final. Otherwise, I've been just constantly adding more positions and taking profits every time we have a retracement or every time a model gets put in. So like previous day high, SMT, we have our inverse gap that we're fulfilling. We have our narrative. We have equilibrium fulfilled. We're trading out of our high time frame buy. Right. The biggest thing I adapted was understanding the high time frame model, and then understanding every time price gave you a new model that it would trade off of. Right. So that's all these were. Right. This was basically just us trading off of a model. This was us trading off of a model. All fractalized versions of this high time frame model. But this is where you get your narrative. Right, so seeing this high time frame model is my narrative, so which is why I'm constantly looking for puts. Yes, you can buy calls here, but it's against my high time frame narrative or my high time frame bias, so it's like, why would I? Even now, I'm expecting Wednesday to be bullish, because Tuesday didn't take out previous day low, not on ES either, so these lows are gonna get taken out. I'm expecting Wednesday to pull higher, fulfill equilibrium from this range. We have 10 a.m. key open, and then we have 4-hour bearish gap. So I'm wanting price to pull somewhere around here. So tomorrow could be a bullish day, and then Thursday can take out Wednesday high and then dump. So I'm expecting the latter half of this week. Expecting tomorrow to be bullish, and then Thursday, Friday to dump. So I'll probably drop another trade recap around Thursday or Friday. But yeah, honestly, I've been cooking. Gold and silver as well. I can go over that really quick. I kind of just bought some fat positions. If y'all have been watching silver and gold, what the fuck? I was doing gold because I entered at the same time. So these were my swing positions for longs previously. It was pretty simple. We just pulled into a daily gap, and I just had that bullish narrative because I just had it. If you have been watching, if you just have a fucking brain and you've been watching the news and this, you understand why gold did its thing. And then we rebalanced equilibrium. We had previous week low sweeps, pulled into this order block. So I bought some devious calls last week, end of last week, and then beginning of this week. And already they're, I mean, I think I'm probably got in around here. So we're already up fucking 500 points. Holy shit. But yeah, then we had our change in state. So now I'm just letting them cook. I'm gonna dollar cost average more calls anytime we get a previous day low sweep. So if we were to leave this bullish daily gap, anytime we pull into it and get a previous day low sweep, I'm gonna add more, just because that's just how price works, right? We already have our high time frame. We haven't had any previous day low sweep to be our next fractalized function. So once we do, I'm going to dollar cost average. Same with silver. Pretty much the exact same setup. Looks pretty much the exact same. I just don't know what fucking ticker it is. Hold on. Oh, okay, that's pretty much the same. But yeah, as I said, just took out liquidity, holding these order blocks. Equilibrium on this whole range. And then just dollar cost averaging on the way up. But honestly, not too crazy. I have been doing very well trading wise. trying to think if there's anything specific. Just okay. So break it down as simple as possible. Narrative slash bias, right? Price technicalities. So like understanding order flow, price delivery, all this, and then price functioning. Change in states. Um, what else? I guess price delivery is also more of a function than it is a technicality. Technicality would be like IRL to ERL. That's less. I guess that's more a function. I guess get rid of technicalities. Functions, right? So narrative bias, functions, and then just the model. Understanding the 4 or 5 parts of the model that make it simple. Um, you just got to put it all together, gain that experience, and then all these lines you see make all sense. I mean, if I go to oh, it's actually a lot cleaner than I expected. Yeah, this is actually a lot. Damn, this is a lot cleaner. I thought my M&Q would be fucked up because that's why I trade. Um, oh yeah, why this also worked very well is we had this high time frame rejection block. We perfectly pulled into consequent encroachment of that rejection block. And we delivered beautifully off of it. Um, I noticed that I noticed the rejection block like 2-3 days after I already entered my calls, and I was like, oh, it's pretty interesting. But pretty simple, right? Past 2 weeks have just been calls, puts, and then end of January was a little slow, but that's because price was waiting for this rip. So this was beautiful. This is beautiful on the way down. Damn, on the way down. And yeah, I'm expecting more puts because now we have one, two, we have a lot, like have these relative equal lows. So I'm expecting one day to really flush them all out and maybe even come for this low. Just depends if we get like this weekly change in state. And then I'd expect us to flush for monthly lows and then start our sell off to like fucking somewhere down here. Like once we pull into here, the calls are gonna go crazy. And this will happen, right? We will have something that's gonna send us this low. Honestly, just waiting. Gonna continuously just stay very, just have good discretion, right? Just wait for the high time frame model weekly, then wait for it on the daily, and then just enter your trade and just hold it. My biggest thing is I sometimes take profits too early. That's also because I like to secure profits because there's been too many times where I'll hold it and then I get absolutely fucked because I held it for too long. And I didn't take profit and then we came back down, break even or this. So I've just been practicing securing profits more, but also being able to re-enter. It's probably the biggest change I've made that's been working well. And yeah, honestly, if this doesn't just look like accumulation, manipulation, and redistribute to the downside, you're a fucking bot. If you don't understand AMD by now, accumulation, manipulation, we have a yearly manipulation, and now distribute to the downside. Very clear. But yeah, I did take some profits. So, we'll definitely, once we get this change in state, then it's going to be a lot clearer. Then I'll hold my shit for a lot longer. Probably not. But, pretty good past few weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm definitely gonna try to post a lot more. Probably do like a I'll probably do like a backtesting video tomorrow or Thursday or something like that. I'll do a backtesting video Thursday, trade recap Friday. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have actually been putting this shit to use. To the 5 subscribers or 5 viewers that watch this, hope you guys have a good night. I will see you guys soon. Peace.